Hello, folks. Welcome to the Mindset Artistry Podcast. I'm your host, Dave Di Paolo. Thank you for joining. This is episode number 8, and today we're going to talk about Generation X, Weapon X, whatever you want to call us, but you're going to understand us a little bit more after this podcast. But thank you for joining the Mindset Movement. If you are new to the podcast, welcome. If you are a return listener, thank you for joining back in. Together we get better in this mindset journey, in this personal development journey. But this podcast is going to be a little bit more fun than some of the other ones and a little bit more informative maybe than some of the other ones on a topic as opposed to mindset. But I feel obligated to do this video. I've been seeing a whole lot of chatter on the interwebs and on the line, as maybe some of us older folks would call it, especially people from Generation X. But I've been seeing all over, social media and different places that Generation X is being called out by some of these younger generations. And they're saying a whole bunch of nonsense. Like, why do we get a pass? Why does Generation X never get called out? What are they actually doing? They're not doing anything. They're to blame for all this, and yada, 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 yada. So I feel like I need to do this podcast on Generation X just to set the record straight. And if you don't know anything about Generation X, it's from 1965 up until 1980. We've been called the lost generation, the forgotten generation, the ignored generation, the last of the feral children, all kinds of cool stuff. So yeah, that's Generation X. Now, I'm going to extend this slightly because I'm going to give some folks a pass, okay? I'm going to say that there's a subcategory out there which is it's from 1980 to 1985, and they do call them Xennials. And I'm going to confirm this. I believe this because I have some friends that are slightly younger than me and that fall into this, 5-year age category. And I can honestly say they're exactly like me. They have the same morals, same values. They were brought up the same way as I was. So if you're in that age group, 1980 to 1985, and you are an Xennial, then you're cool with us. You're in with us because there's not much of a difference there, okay? So, yeah, look, these younger generations, I don't even know which ones are under us. I don't really care either, but apparently they're calling us out. So we've been called out. They're saying, why are we off the hook? And here's the thing, we're not off the hook. We're off the chains, okay? We're unchained, okay? We're not the same as you. Like, you might think that you don't hear about us and we don't get blamed for things, and why are we, not being talked about more? Because here's the thing, you little bubble wrap bitches. We don't complain. We don't cry about things. We don't brag about the things that we do. We're not all over the place, saying, hey, look at this, and complaining about all these different things. We handle our business. We get it done. We do what we have to do. That's the difference. And that's what you younger generations don't quite understand. So yeah, we are behind the scenes. We are quiet about a lot of things. We handle our business in a different way. We move in silence. We do different things, but don't make no mistake. We're getting it done. We're doing what we have to do. And, look, we're raising kids now. We're helping our parents out. Some of us are raising our parents, okay? So, look, we're in the jobs and the occupations where we're in important roles. We're doing a lot of different things. We're in leadership positions. You might not see that and understand it, and you probably won't for a while now, but we are here, I promise you. So, look, we're going to jump into this a little bit. I'm going to get into a little bit more just, about Generation X and as it applies to these younger generations that feel the need to call us out all of a sudden. And then I'm going to also talk about why Generation X are the ones that could come in and fix all this stuff, are the ones that could come in and get things right on track in this country. And I'll explain why we are the most equipped to do that, okay? But first, your first lesson to these younger generations that all of a sudden want to call us out. Here's your first problem, okay? That's exactly it. You're trying to divert your bullshit on us. You're trying to deflect your bullshit on us, your inadequacies on us, your failures on us, your lack of confidence and abilities on us. And see, that's the thing. You have this victimhood mentality, these younger generations, okay? Most of you, and I'm going to say, because there's some solid ones out there, but most of the younger generations have a victimhood mentality. They like to play the blame game. They have this like thing where, you know, they don't have accountability, they don't have responsibility, and they want to put everything else on everyone else, expect other people to fix it for them, expect other people to be blamed for it. And this is your first problem, this victimhood culture, this victimhood mentality that you have. It's setting you up for failure, okay? Because you're taking it off of you and not realizing how strong and powerful you actually are if you just did the right things, if you just got your shit done, if you had accountability, if you had discipline, if you had a better work ethic, if you had more drive, if you stopped blaming everyone else for your problems and took accountability, then this world would be a much better place. And that goes for other people that are out there too. It's not just the younger generations. There's some folks out there that never grew up and they still have this problem. But this is very, very, you know, all over the place in younger generations, that they don't have accountability and they have this damn victimhood mentality. And a lot of it is because of technology, social media, you being coddled, everyone gets a trophy, your feelings matter so much and you're so offended and all this other stuff, and everyone else has to tiptoe around this and make it right for you. And listen, you're setting yourself up for failure if you fall into those games and you fall in line with all that bullshit. And I'm telling you right now, as soon as you get yourself out of that victimhood mentality, you will be a lot better in life. I promise you that. So that's your first lesson. Look, you know, the second thing is, we're not from the same world that you're from, okay? Like, you've been raised on technology while we raised ourselves. And the times that, you know, our parents were involved or anyone else was involved, we were raised by people who were crazier and more nuts than we were. We were raised from people from the 50s and from the 60s and from the 70s. Like, we grew up in a much different time, okay? And look, it was different. Like, there was real bullying, okay? Not this like online cyberbullying, talking shit online, keyboard warriors and all this other stuff. Like, if you were weak, you really got bullied. You got beat up. You had to learn how to defend yourself. You had to learn how to fight back, because if not, that was going to be your whole life, you getting bullied, and you would never get through that. So even the people out there who were bullied, who were taken advantage, eventually they learned how to fight back. And so even those kids that maybe were a little bit weaker, they're a whole lot stronger now because they learned how to fight back and defend themselves, okay? So there was real bullying back then. There was real violence back then. There was real fights back then. And all this, I'm offended and this and that, and, trying to get people in trouble for things and snitching and cancel culture and all that other crap, that didn't go, okay? That didn't go well when we were your age. That didn't go well when we grew up, we were young. We knew that wasn't what you did. You didn't tell on people. You didn't rat on people. You didn't call the cops. You didn't try to get people in trouble. Cancel culture wasn't even a thing. You didn't try to get people canceled, lose their job, ask them all over social media and all this other crap that you kids today rely on and hide behind, where back in the day, that didn't happen, okay? And look, we were totally fine with handling things the right way. If you had to fight, you had to fight. And listen, that's the way life was. And we did that every day. We were out and about. We weren't in the house playing video games. We weren't doing all this other crap. We were just at home, talking behind a microphone and on a headset and keyboards and phones and computers and, all this other fake nonsense that's out there. You had to look someone in the eyes face to face and deal with your problems. And because of that, that's why we are who we are today. That's why we handle things the way that we handle things today, and why you don't. Okay? And listen, hopefully you have good parents that are teaching you the right way. I have a young kid. I promise you I'm teaching him the right way. I'm teaching him the right morals and values that I was raised on, and how this world really works, and not this little fake cushy world that once you get in the real world doesn't exist. So look, you need a reality check. You need to understand we're from a different place than you, and the place that we are from really equipped us for life, really made us strong, tougher. Iron sharpens iron. Like, we really, really lived a different time and a different life than you. And look, I'm not saying it's all about fights. I'm not saying it's all about, that tough guy shit and having to have, bragging about it and all that. It's not what this is about. But look, you come from a different world. We come from a world where there's actually real life repercussions for your actions, and you kids don't have that today, okay? And that's going to lead into my next thing. Lesson number 3, respect. And that's something that a lot of you young kids don't have, okay? When I was younger, and we were brought up to respect our elders, and that meant people that were a lot older than us, people that were our parents' age, especially people that were like our grandparents' age, but also just people that were a little bit older than us, okay? Like, if I was a 10-year-old, I respected kids that were 15, because I knew those kids that were 15 would beat the shit out of me if I got out of line. That's another thing that you don't have today. You don't understand the repercussions of an older kid would actually beat you to hell up if you did something stupid. Someone in their 20s might have even slapped you if you did something stupid. Shit, I had a couple of my good friends' parents that were allowed to smack me if I got out of line and I did something wrong. My parents told them, hey, if David does this, smack him in the ass, okay? You don't have these repercussions, and that's what happens. You get out in the real world, you say something to the wrong person, and then someone does actually hurt you because you don't realize the words that you're saying, the things that you're doing have actual real life repercussions. We knew that at a young age, and we still know that. And that's why even now, 45 years old, I still don't talk shit to people, because I know that can get me into something a lot bigger that I might not want to be into at that time. I still respect my elders. I still have respect for perfect strangers and people that I don't know. And I see it every day that you kids don't. I see it all over the internet. I see kids talking crap to adults. I see kids talking crap to older kids. I see total lack of disrespect for elderly people. I see total lack of disrespect for just people around you and people in the public. And these kids today just do this wild shit and think that it's okay. But that's because there's no repercussions to you. That's because there's no, actually idea of like physical danger and harm that can be done to you, because you live in this world where you're protected, okay? And it's a big problem with this world today, and you don't have the respect that you should. And that's something we need back in this world today. We need to respect our elders, and we just need to respect people that are around us, strangers, people in the public. And when you do that and everyone has a common respect for each other, this world will be a better place. This society would be a better place. And the problem is, a lot of times, some of these younger kids aren't being raised right. They aren't being raised with a father figure, a strong father figure in the home, okay? That is so important. Look, my old man, my father, he died when I was 15 years old. He was taken way too early in this life. But he instilled values and respect and a lot of different things before he passed away that I would never forget. And I understood it well, and I still understand it now. But I had a positive male role model in my life. I had a positive male role model in my life that I knew if I got out of line, he was going to whoop my ass, okay? And it's not all about that again. It's not all about physical violence. And it didn't mean he was going to beat the shit out of me to the point where I had to be hospitalized. Like, I knew he could hurt me. I knew that if I got out of line, this man really, really could hurt me to the point that I didn't want that to happen. So, yeah, I loved him. I love him to death. But I feared him, knowing that there were repercussions for my actions. And that's what a lot of you kids today don't understand. Some kids sadly don't have a male positive role model figure in their life to put them in there. And look, you can look at the Nature Channel, right? You can look at every other kind of animal that's out there. When there's the absence of a male figure in that world, the young kids, the young people, they're wild, they're out of control, they don't understand repercussions, okay? And that's a big problem today. The level of people who are growing up, the amount of people that are growing up without a father in the home, or maybe a separated, divorce, all this other stuff, it is grown through leaps and bounds over the last 30 years. And it's a big problem with why some of the kids are the way that they are today, these younger generations. And it's sad because these kids are at a disadvantage. But as family, as a community, as friends, someone needs to step in and help these kids, okay? Someone needs to step in and be a positive male figure in these kids' life. And I know I got a little off topic here talking about younger generations and Generation X, but this is real life. This is true. And I'm going to talk about this a little bit more on a later podcast when I do my Father's Day episode. But having a male figure, having someone in the home and teaching you the right way to do things and how to be a real adult is so damn important. So anyone who says that we don't need men and we don't need fathers and we don't need a male figure in the house is a fucking idiot, okay? Plain and simple. And that's just it. So you can play all those games and all this other stuff and desensitize this and that about, men and this and they shouldn't do this, but you can look at the statistics. Any home where there's not a male figure, there's a better chance that that kid's going to be a criminal. There's a better chance that he's going to have mental problems. There's a better chance that he's going to get in a lot of trouble, do bad in school, higher chance of suicide, go to jail. The list goes on and on and on. People lie, numbers don't lie. That's the reality of life. So I know I jumped off topic here, but that's something I'm very passionate about, and people need to understand that. Look, again, it's not all about violence, not all about fights, but that's something that we knew and understood. We understood danger, we understood violence and real repercussions that a lot of these younger generations don't. And in some cases, it's not their fault because there's not a father at home, okay? So, again, I'm going to jump into one last thing here after those things that I did want to just throw out there, okay? Again, we just live different lives, to reiterate, we did. The things we ate, all being outside all the time, not technology ruling our lives, repercussions, respect, all these different things, they were real, and I firmly believe as parents, that's stuff that we need to instill in our children today. If you are a parent, make sure that these younger generations are actually super solid, and we control that, okay? Now, the last thing, okay, yeah, us, Generation X, okay, maybe we got to do this and get this fixed and do a little bit more, make our presence known a little bit more, and actually jump in and make people understand what the hell needs to be done here. And we are the most equipped to do that, and I'm going to tell you why, okay? So here's the thing. When it comes to technology and all the technology that these younger generations have and have had around them, we didn't, okay? I didn't have a computer I didn't have a laptop until I was in my 20s, okay? And back in the day, we didn't have computer classes. We had typing, okay? There weren't cell phones. These like little supercomputers that you're carrying around in your pocket, we didn't have any of that, all right? We had to actually have good communication skills. We had to be able to look at someone's verbal and nonverbal cues. We had to shake someone's hand, look them in the eyes, introduce ourselves, have real life conversations, work things out, have constructive conversations on how you get through things, how you make things better, how we're going to do this and that, okay? We did this on an everyday, daily basis, where today things are a lot different. People don't like talking to each other. People are afraid of confrontation. People want to do everything behind the phone. People don't even want to call people on the phone and talk anymore. It's all text. It's all email. It's all digital stuff, where we grew up without that. So we already have all these communication skills and problem-solving abilities, and we're okay dealing with confrontation, knowing that, hey, we're going to have this conversation, but we're going to work it out, and we're going to get better from it, right? That was our life, and that's all we knew, and that's how we got through things and did things, where these younger generations don't do it because they're just not good at it, and it's not their fault because they were raised more on technology than they were on actual human interaction, okay? Where us, my generation, we have those old school, lessons that we did and experiences, but we also do know technology because technology happened during our generation, okay? Like we were on the forefront of cell phones coming out. We were on the forefront of like real life internet. Like, back in the day we had dial-up internet when I was younger, when I was in college, and it was a nightmare. Now everything is, Wi-Fi, everyone has the internet, all these different things. So we have phones, we have computers, we have laptops, we have tablets, we have all these different things. Social media is a big one that obviously wasn't around. Life before social media is way different than life after social media. It has changed the dynamic of humanity. It has changed the dynamic of society. It has changed the dynamic of everything. Commerce, how people communicate, all these different things, business. So we grew up and all this stuff happened while we were growing up, and we had to adapt to it. We had to learn it as it was happening. And not only did we learn it as it was happening, we kept up on it as it continues to evolve. And look, I'm not against technology. I own a tech company. I have an internet marketing company. I'm all about technology. But I also still believe in old school, let's talk, let's figure this out, let's have a conversation, let's look each other eye to eye, let's meet in person, let's shake hands, let's hug it out, let's whatever. I still believe in that because that's the way things are supposed to be. Look, technology that we have hasn't been around a long time. Humans have. So we're changing so rapidly into something that's taking us away from the human experience, and that's not good. But here's the thing, our generation has both, okay? Where the older generation doesn't understand tech. The generations before us, some of them, they don't understand technology like we do. The younger generations only understand technology. They don't understand the human experience and the way people, operate and do things and these communication skills that they're lacking on, where our generation does. So we're the most equipped to be leaders. We're the most equipped to be the ones that have to fix things. We're the most equipped to run companies, manage people, all these different things. Politics, listen, there's some dinosaurs out there. There should be term limits. Some of these people got to go. Make room for people that are a little bit younger, my age, that really have good ideas and understand the things that we need to do to fix this world. And I firmly believe the more people we see in my generation getting into politics, we will fix things a lot more than it ever has before, but that's a different story. But yeah, look, our generation is the most equipped to fix this. So I am calling on Generation X. We can call us Weapon X, just like Wolverine. We need to be more assertive. We need to jump in and really get this shit fixed. We need to jump in and make sure that these younger generations do understand the things that we understand. Because look, and I say this a lot on my podcasts and my videos, we have to have accountability too. There are things out there that aren't our fault. It's not our fault that these younger generations are the way that they are, but it is our responsibility to help them, to coach them along, to fix them, to open their eyes up to doing things differently, to make them understand real core values, real, great virtues, really great things that can help them along the way and make them very, very productive members of society, that we can all work together and get things to be better in this country, in this world. And look, it's going to have to be us that steps in to do this. And I'm calling on everybody in Generation X to get more involved. Look around, see who you can help, see who you can fix. And I see this all the time for myself, especially as a business owner with staff. I understand some of my younger staff need to be treated a little bit differently. I have to be a little bit more patient, a little bit more lenient of the things that they, aren't really good at. But it's our job now to train them, fix them, help them along, teach them the right things, give them the right systems, the right processes, these different things that will help them, that will help us all to get better. So look, I know I talked about a lot in this podcast, and I jumped off topic a little bit, but there's some things that I really do feel very strongly about. But look, that's what it's all about. At the end of the day, some of this stuff was funny and cool when I'm saying, hey, you don't understand and so. But at the end of the day, we still got to work together. We got to figure this out together. It goes for every damn generation that's out there. At the end of the day, we're all here. We're all humans. We're all people. Let's figure out how to work together. Let's figure out people's strengths and weaknesses and help each other with that, so that, there are some things with generations that some things are better than others. And we need to understand that. We need to embrace it. We need to respect that. And we need to help each other out, make things better together. And that's what this podcast is all about. It's the mindset movement. It's all about personal development. It's all about getting better. It's all about making yourself better first, and then you can help other people get better. It always starts with you. Have responsibility, have accountability, do the right things, and with that, we will all get better. So that's it. Thank you for joining. If you like this podcast, please share it. Please comment. I love this one. Could get kind of fun in the comments. Let's be cool about it. Let's not insult each other. But that's it. I'll see you guys next week. Thank you for joining. Goodbye. It's good.